Good Filipino morning to everybody.
Good morning, guys.
This is current event and whatever BBC. Anyway, hey Dean, what's up? Thank you for staying up for today. However, in, with Ken, he's British, so or I'm sorry, Welsh. So recently, since I've done Ken's video, so I get a lot of subscribers from the Great Britain or the UK in general. But before that, prior to that, a lot of my what you might call it audience is from the United States, Australia, stuff like that. But I appreciate you staying up to for my live stream here. But anyway, just a quick update about Ken. He's doing his spirits is a lot better now, a lot more positive, a thousandfold, and I'm very happy for that. And a lot of commenters, have left that, comments about, like the blind leading the blind, it's and I don't dispute that at all. Again, I'm 45 years old and I have I'm not looking forward to Social Security for at least 20 years or whatever, but I don't think I've worked enough because I stopped working when I was like age 37 to even have a Social Security benefit, 20 years from now. So I just am not familiar with the process, so I'm just learning as I go. And for those who comment about, like me, what you might call it, speaking too much, when I'm on camera with Ken, well, I am the content creator, so I think it's my obligation to talk. So I understand that Ken is having a hard time following me, but I assure everybody that when I before I turn the camera on, like I give like a kind of summary with Ken on what I will be talking about, and I do let him know that I will be mainly talking to the audience and just extending the courtesy to the audience on his personal progress and stuff like that. But I did instruct him also that if he disputes anything that I say verbally, or if I'm incorrect about something, for him to feel free to interrupt me and give me his 2 cents, because I'm not perfect. Good morning, chicken legs. Always appreciate your support, brother. Vote for you. I don't think I'll ever qualify for presidency over here, but neither am I ever interested in politics. But I appreciate you. But getting back to Ken, it's just like you guys, like for the negative people. I mean, I have a lot of support, and I appreciate all the supporters that are being positive and all. But for the people who are questioning me, give me a chance. I never claimed to be a broadcaster. I never claimed to be journalist. I'm none of those. I'm just a Joe Schmo that dropped out of high school and decided to. Life has treated me well, so I decided to come to the Philippines and make the Philippines a home. And my intention from my very first video last year, like I stated my intention in the Philippines, and I have carried like most of it out besides going to the gym. And of course, like my English is my fourth language, so I don't speak perfectly. So if you guys want to clown on me about that, that's up to y'all. But other than that, I'm living the best life that I can and extending a hand to whoever I can that I see fit. Again, Ken was just happened to be a neighbor that we just on our nightly walk, passed by. But generally, he's not the demographic that like I target. And then also, for those, that there was like two people who said really bad things about the Ken situation, asking me to do background checks and whether he's a criminal, hire investigators. Like good luck with that. When you as a human being pass by another human being and you observe a dire need of health attentions, it's like I don't care about his past. It's completely irrelevant. That's up to law enforcement. My goal is to get him home so he can access the benefits that he's entitled to, as far as healthcare is concerned. And like, if a big if he is in fact a criminal or whatever, that's law enforcement. That's not me. I'm just a content creator. And also, like, as far as I know, what from Ken, like, he came to the Philippines as a musician, running away from a very bad divorce, and he just wants to pursue his music. So he came to the Philippines. That's what he told me, and that's the story that I have, and that's what I choose to believe. And I'm not going to waste my supporters' resources and my personal time to dig into this man's past, what he may or may not have done in the past. For those smug comments, I'll give you a smug response that the man has, 12 toes and 8 fingers and a goldfish that died 22 years ago, and that's that's all that matters. Swamp Zoid, thank you for joining us in the live stream today. I appreciate that very much. And getting back to Ken, it's just like, as far as my conversation with him, it's just like, well, as far as my conversation in general, 90% of my career was in sales. So I run my mouth for a living. So apparently I run my mouth. That's what I do. So I don't have interactions with elderlies. Neither have I ever had any experience in caring for elderlies. So I'm, brand new. I'm just diving in and swimming with the shark as far as working with Ken here. But as far as I'm concerned, like, I don't feel that Ken has ever been bothered by my speech or the pace of my speech. So I'm gonna carry on doing what I do, and like, Ken has been very happy, and his spirits has been driven up, like, substantially since we've met. So like, there's more positive to negative, and like, I don't focus on the negative. So I'm just gonna carry on. Yeah, I'm just going through these messages, and I apologize, Dean. I know you left a lot of messages, but like, I'm trying to give everybody some attention over here. And yeah, Ken is on schedule, even though we got his Social Security situation resolved the other day, 2 days ago, I believe. What's today? Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, today's Monday morning for us. We got it resolved Friday night over here. Uh, the Social Security representative still indicated that they still need about 5 working days to update the system. And then after they update the system, that's when we call back, and to a different line. They gave us a number to call, so we can update his banking system. And which brings me to a good point. Like, I want to give a shout out to Marissa Lake. Marissa Lake is, I believe, lives in Luzon, Manila. I would like to say she gave me a backstory, but she sent me a very long message. But I want to give a shout out to Marissa Lake, because if it wasn't for her, I would have to make a long journey to Dumaguete to meet up with Paul, which I ended up not doing due to time constraint, and all my motorcycle inventory, including my own personal motorcycle, being rented out. So I couldn't make that trip. But because of Marissa Lake's doing, she reached out to me via Facebook Messenger and gave me all the references. It was, like, almost a Bible long. Usually I would complain about that because I don't like reading, as I'm dyslexic. But, she was so thorough with the information, including, numbers to Social Security department and so on or whatnot. And then fortunately, she was previously married to her late husband, who is a U.S. citizen. So she's very familiar with the process, and gave me all the relevant resources to call. So it made my job a lot easier. And when I had Ken here, it was already 10 p.m. So it was way like 2 hours past my personal bedtime. I wake up at 4 a.m. for whatever reason, so I go to bed pretty early. And Ken was fortunate enough to have a nap that very day, so he was wide awake and coherent. So that was good. And we got it resolved rather quickly without having to bother Paul in the Philippines, old dog new tricks. So but he extended his uh, hand in like assistance if I ever needed it. So I am very grateful for that. But fortunately, we didn't have to do that. And I had enough information from Marissa Lake, who was kind enough to reach out to me. And for a lot of people who have reached out to me, I maybe have like a million messages indicating to reach out to Senator. What is it? What was the senator's name? Something Tufo.
Rafi Tulfo.
Oh, Ralphie Tufo. It's like, come on, guys. If you guys want to help, I appreciate it. But give me some content, to what you guys are reaching out to. You asked me to reach out to somebody, but you leave no telephone number, no email, no way of contact. I did, in fact, reach out via his YouTube page, but I am certain I am only one message out of millions and millions of messages that he has. So I have no other way to contact them. If you give a general comment like that, it's just I don't know how to pursue it. I don't know how to reach out to the man, or if there's an effective way to reach out to the man. I'm not about to sit there for a week in researching or fly to Luzon personally to reach out to the man. And also, those who gave some recommendations or suggestions to get some emergency medical care for Ken. I so heartedly want to do that, but in order for him to in order for me to provide or assist him with emergency medical care and stuff like that, something that is worthwhile, I have to fly with him to Manila, where more advanced facilities and advanced equipments um, that are available to him. It's just like it's almost an impossible task. That it just means that I have to utilize a lot of the resources that were donated by subscribers and viewers to go towards his airfare, which reach about $1,400 by now. I don't have the exact number, so I apologize. And uh, I'm not going to utilize that, resource to, get him to Manila, where he can get these kind of resources back in the UK for free. And also, I personally don't have the personal time to fly with him and rent a hotel and sit there for his appointments for, days, weeks, whatever it takes. Knowing that, we just restored his or reinstated his Social Security, and JRC is working effortlessly to mitigate his overstay to mitigate his overstay to so immigration can grant him the opportunity to pay his penalty so he can leave back to the UK. So, the timeline we're looking at is about a month to 45 days. So I'm, we're already like a week or two in. So it's about 30 days. So, logically, I'm not going to utilize or expend all those resources and take away from, what has been donated towards, like a specific purpose to do something that he would, get done within 30 days anyway. So that's not going to happen. And but I appreciate your feedback anyway. Hey, Peter, Aussie, Aussie, Aussie. I appreciate you. And Paul right here, he's been a recent, he started as a subscriber, but he recently come and visit me in the Philippines here and rented one of my motorbikes. And I very, and very proactive in what I do. I really appreciate you, Paul. And everybody who has requested to meet with me, it's just like I'm one of those vloggers that I don't think that no matter how many subscribers or how popular my channel get, I don't think I will ever charge a fee or a consultation fee for you guys to come and visit, to say hi and enjoy a cup of coffee with me, which I will make for you for free anyway. I'm a pretty coffee snob, so I only drink my coffee. I don't do Starbucks in the coffee shop and stuff like that. And I always have an open door policy over here. Whoever the subscriber is who wants to come and say hi and just hang out for a little bit, you're more than welcome to come. And I'm always happy to meet my supporters, subscribers, and viewers, and share intelligent conversation. And Paul, I'm very grateful to have the opportunity to meet you. I didn't know you were from Iowa, Iron Horse. I thought you were from like Seattle or something like that. Whatever gave me that uh yeah, that impression, whatever it is, it just didn't. I don't know why, but hello from Iowa. Sorry guys, today my mind isn't straight, so I'm a little bit more stuttering more than usual today. But honey, help me look at the message if it's anything that I should that yeah, it points it out to me. Yeah, sorry guy, my mind isn't straight today. But as far as Ken is concerned, we're implementing more fruits and vegetables, and we are personally delivering to them and to Ken, and we're doing our best to prepare hot meals for him, because Bernadette, as much of an angel as she is, she does have a full schedule. She does work the graveyard shift, and she has an elderly mother, I think in her 90s, that she go and take care of. That doesn't live in the same household, so Ken doesn't get a hot meal, often, and we try to do that. And I get a lot of drawbacks from giving Ken bacon. Guys, we don't give him bacon every day. Okay, he just that one incident, he indicated that he hasn't had bacon for 5 years or something like that. So we just decided to, just let him indulge a little bit. We don't give him bacon every day. I'm not a nutritionist, but I know bacon is not good for you. I know, I'm intelligent enough to know that. So I appreciate it. Oh yeah, Gib King. I really appreciate the praise over here, and I'm sorry to hear about your mother's passing, and to dementia especially. Dementia is not a uh, it's a terrible thing to have, when you don't even like recognize your own family members, or your blood, it's terrible. But I don't know if Ken has dementia. Of course he has those symptoms, but from what I observe, from talking to him every day, I suspect that he does not have dementia. I think his cognitive health was deteriorating due to poor diets. If you eat white rice every day, with occasional, vegetables, and a few slices of, like hot dog to go with your rice, that's just a terrible way to live. So your cognitive health will deteriorate. So but recently I've noticed that his conversation with me has been uh, a lot more productive, efficient, and we crack jokes all the time. When the camera's not on, he does have the ability to be sarcastic, and sometimes when his sarcasm go over my head, he does tell me, like, hey, I was being sarcastic with you. I'm like, thank you, Ken. I didn't realize that you were being sarcastic, so on or whatnot. But his spirits has been lifted exponentially. So I hope that he doesn't have early signs of dementia, because I'm not a medical doctor and I don't have any kind of experience or exposure to that. But from just my Joe Schmo observation, it's just his cognitive health has improved a lot lately. And it brings me to another thing. I have gotten a lot of praise lately for helping out Ken, which I do appreciate. But at the same time, I do realize, and I wasn't born yesterday to understand that I am personally in a very vulnerable position as well, because all it takes, I do realize that all it takes is for one thing to to be said and misunderstood. And I know I am in a position where a lot of people will come after me with pitchforks and stuff like that for a witch hunt. So, with Ken's condition as well, so if he does have dementia or something like that, if he says something that may or may not, be misinterpreted or whatever, and like I will be in a very terrible position, and I don't want that. So I am walking on eggshell as well. That's why in the very beginning, I don't want to get involved with his Social Security administration's situation, because in order for me to help him, I need to know his Social Security number to place that call for him, which puts me in, some type of fiduciary responsibility, which I don't want to be in. Uh, for everything that I do here in the Philippines, I wish for longevity. I wish to, be involved with, the younger generation who are in high school, or, in the late stages of high school or early stages of their college, to help people who are able to be independent to further their um, to further their life, and have a long life ahead of them. Someone like Ken, it's just like, I know I am in a very vulnerable position, and I hope that something like that will never come up. But I know what the reality is, so I'm doing my best. There are certain things that like I just don't want to be involved with, and especially with Ken, like he is excuse me, um, very vulnerable himself, because he doesn't have any relatives or um, family members, and neither does he have any friends per se. He's very solitaire. So like, and in his health condition, and the desperation that he's going through to go home, it's just like he just seems to trust everybody that say hi to him, and that is a very terrible position to be in. And I don't know, like, just through conversation, it's just like, there are, I don't want to volunteer too many personal information here, but like, there's very limited things that I can do. It's just like, it is, after all, at the end of the day, it's Ken's life and Ken's personal information. So Ken has all the freedom and ability to do as he wish. So as far as my involvement is concerned, I do talk to him about what he needs to be careful about, and who he can, who about trusting, and he is my elder as well. So like, I don't want to overstep boundaries as well, and kind of lecture an elder, um, and be disrespectful, and tell him what to do with his life and how to run his life, and how to manage his money and stuff like that. Um, it's not my position to do that to an elder. But I do realize his vulnerability. I do point it out to him, and I do, if he asks, when he asks, I do give suggestions of how to manage all that. Like, I was once upon a time a Series 7 broker, a life agent as well. So I do know how to be organized with that somewhat. So I just want to, don't want to be in a fiduciary position to inherit all that responsibility, while he's out there basically trusting everybody. And I do have some subscribers in living close to London, one in particular, and I apologize for not knowing your handle or your name uh, off top, because I do have a lot of messages that I need to sort through. Once we get closer to Ken boarding that flight, I will sort through my messages again and reach out to you personally. He is a grown man with a Filipino wife, lives close to London, who had offered, made a very generous offer to pick up Ken from the airport, and even extend his home to house Ken during the process of like navigating through the social service system and stuff like that. And we do have Stacy, who is involved in multiple charitable organizations there in Scotland, which is managing and watching like the process, and she is very she has been very proactive in the Ken situation, making phone calls to government officials and the many things that she does, and we chat constantly via Messenger. So there is a like a protocol in place, and there's a fallback plan in place as well. But at the end of the day, it's just like under the circumstances, I cannot personally like fly with Ken to the UK. It's impossible. Neither is it possible for her, because we have our own obligation here. And like although I do acknowledge like how vulnerable Ken is, and he does need the assistance. But once he goes into the airport, there are airport staffs that would help him out with the wheelchair, and like there will be flight attendants that will be attending to him on the flight. And when he reach wherever the connection flight is, there are assistants there. So for the viewer who just watched like a few minutes into my one of my video, and suggest that I make that flight with Ken, that's just impossible. But we do have like a process in place to make sure that or to the best of our ability, to help Ken through the transition, or the process. I apologize again, my brain is not working right today, so I sincerely apologize for my stuttering. Yeah, thank you for giving me props, LL. It's just like I do this for selfish reasons, because it does make me feel good about myself. It does make me feel good that knowing that I am contributing back to society. And uh, it I don't want to get emotional here, but it just
Don't cry, honey.
but it's just reminds me that I am human, and we are all neighbors, and we are one race. We all live on Earth. So it's just when you pass by something like this, it's just what do you do? How can you walk away without doing anything about it? I don't specifically go out searching for it, but it's just like when it's in front of your eyes, how can you walk away, and how can you turn something like that down? But on a positive note, like I did learn a lot about like retirement and social security and stuff like that, whether like I have need for it personally, with that information in the far future. That's another story. But like I've learned something, and knowledge is power, right? So I appreciate that. um hey, Paul, thank you very much for I appreciate it. I'm speechless, for you guys being so supportive. Liza Jane, thank you very much. And I do feel the blessing, for all you guys, that send the kind words. Um, Liza Jane, like all the areas that you go to are very touristy, and they're pretty far from me. So like you've helped enough just simply by watching. And again, it's just like if you haven't seen too many of my videos, I always stand by what I say. I don't ask. I never ask for money. I never ask for help, because I'm self-sufficient myself. Even without the help, I'll find a way to help Ken out of my personal resources. But I do leave a two links, buy me a coffee as well as PayPal link on the description section of all of my videos, for those who want to voluntarily help. But I don't speak of it too much, because I don't want to be ever accused of being a cyber beggar, or like a cyber hobo or whatever. It's just I want to keep my channel very positive, so I don't get in the habit of asking for help. Also, I want to take this opportunity to remind everybody that we just launched like 2 weeks ago our website qgives.com. And then I just want to elaborate a little bit, take a moment to elaborate why I have the website. It's just like I make a lot of contents. And for those who say that, I am exploiting Ken or, like the guests on my channel, it's just like for the purpose of making a profit on AdSense. Um, you're entitled to say whatever you want. And I am no doubt doing this for compensation by YouTube. Um, but at the same time, the compensation that I, make from the AdSense, I mean, nobody does anything in this world for free. Okay. And you go, punch in your time clock at 9 a.m. and punch out at 6 p.m. You're doing it for money. And I'm making these content, yes, for AdSense compensation, but at the same time, the compensation that I get from AdSense, as well as my motorbike rental business over here, the proceeds goes towards, like helping me do more as far as contributing to the local community and my philanthropic work. The two nieces that I adopt that currently reside with me for the last how many months? They came here like 6 months. Yeah, so we've been feeding them and we've been, like paying for their tuition because they transfer here, like in the middle of, I guess they didn't like not, in the midterm or whatever the case is. It's very expensive, and we pay for it out of our pocket, and we don't feature them on our, like channels anymore because, like there has been accusations that, like I am accepting donations to, like kind of look out for my own or whatever, just to make it clear. She has 9 siblings that I don't help. But, like these two nieces, it's just like they are young enough where they have a lot of, potential ahead of them. And they are, what is it, like daughters of her cousins. So it's a pretty distant relative and stuff like that. So I was impressed by them. So I decided to help them. But, whatever it is, it's just like, no matter what I do, there's going to be drawbacks. And what was my point? I forgot my point. Again, my head is not right today, guys. But like oh yeah, for my website, qgives.com. A lot of people who I have on my content as guests, it's just like I never offer them, hey, I'm gonna give you X amount of pesos to be on my channel. Never, because it just takes away the genuine conversation and the genuine experience. So I don't want to pay someone for content. However, at the end of the content, if I identify that, there is um, potential, like I often offer to mentor them or extend some kind of resource to them, like the kid that, does vulcanizing on the tires and stuff like that. I, after the fact, not only did we give them 20 times the labor, we also offer to, like give him access to technology, like laptops and stuff like that. If he ever needs the help, it just so happens that he is the son of my mechanic, my regular mechanic friend who has passed away. So, like so there is a, what you call it, like relationship, I guess, like a safety protocol, just to make sure that I'm not, being accused of grooming kids and stuff like that. So family friends of my mechanic. So if ever he needs the 11-year-old boy needs help, like with funding for his school and school supplies and projects and stuff like that, I just let him know that, like he can reach out to us. We're not going to buy cell phones and, like stuff that are not necessities and stuff like that. We're not going to spoil people. We're not going to buy a bunch of nonsense. But for school purposes and, like for mentorship, I'm always here. And then for the website, like I only have 2 people that I put on there and 1 personal project. Jericho, and Maryland. And for not everybody on my channel are have genuine intents, and like I've noticed that sometimes after the fact, I come across people, like who have their own personal agenda, which I'm not for. So with the website, it allows me to, feature the ones with genuine intent and have like a logical goal, and I want to support those people, and I want to bring awareness to those people. And we've known Marilyn for a long time, and for this entire time, it's just it's nothing but like a genuine conversation. And like she's continued to work hard and pursue her school and stuff like that. And so it's a nice cause. And for those who reach out in the comment section, how can I help this person and that person? If you don't see them on the website, the odds are, like there's something, after the fact that came about that, are not, like that just give me the heebie jeebies, that it's not worthy to be on my website. So yeah, understand that. And again, my mind's not right today, guys. So if you guys if I'm being scattered with the information, feel free to reach out, and I'm very responsive. And Groot, I am Groot. I like that. And oh, thank you for the blessing, Groot. I really appreciate it. And from what again, I'm doing this for selfish reasons, because it makes me feel good in my heart. And I'm very happy that I'm able to drag her along, and I'm very grateful that she's on board with it, and she enjoys doing everything that that we do. And I'm very grateful that she puts her channel in sacrifice and doesn't create, like from her involvement. That's why she hasn't, upload anything on her channel, which is Philippines with I spelled AI. She hasn't uploaded anything for like 3 weeks, because she has been very busy helping me make phone calls and stuff like that in the background with Ken. Ken just consume a lot more of our time because we have to chase down information that we don't know, and like foreign governments and stuff like that. And as far as for those who say, just reach out to the U.S. embassy, they will help in no time. False, because Ken is not a U.S. citizen, and he let his what you call it, U.S. residency green card expired. So the U.S. embassy will not help. And for the others who say just reach out to the UK embassy and they will help in no time. False.
Still false.
Yeah. One of Bernadetta's relatives, like brought Ken's situation to the UK consulate here in Cebu, and they are well aware, and it reached out to the embassy level. And um, as I understand it, I don't have personal, like involvement in it. As I understand it, it's a 3 to 4 month wait before they even look at the paperwork to determine what Ken's condition is. And then after Stacy in Scotland, like got involved, she made phone calls to embassies and government officials, and they indicated to her that they are well aware of Ken's situation. And another subscriber who lives in Bacolod reached out to one of the UK wardens that lives in Bacolod, and he was very proactive. I believe his name is Philip. No, not Philip. Anyway, I apologize if I don't remember your names. But anyway, they say that they are well aware, and they have been looking, or viewing my videos, and apparently, according to the warden, that Ken is okay now since he is in my hand, which is absolutely disappointing because I have no ties to the UK. I am just a private citizen who is, just going about my own business. And I just happened to come across Ken, and as another human being, how can I ignore something like that? It is not my responsibility um, to cater to Ken and his situation and his health condition. I am probably the worst candidate to do so. It is the government's job, but in this case, the government failed. So I stepped in and I'm doing the best that I can and reach out to whoever I can that can get involved and respond to those who, reached out to me, like people like Stacy as well as Marissa Lake, who had contributed, like greatly in the progress that we have made. But then again, this is the government's job, not my job. So if the government wants to step in right now and take over, you're more than welcome to. It's just like what JRC is doing right now is just filing a petition for Ken to have the ability to pay, the overstay penalty. It's just like if the government steps in, like they can defer that. It's just like I've been told that many times, and logically I believe it. Like they can defer that, pay it, from government to government and speed up the process so Ken can go home and he can, access his Barclays Bank in the U.S. and pay back the government. But the government failed. It's just like I don't have to do this, but the government failed, so I'm doing it. I'm pretty pissed off about it, and I apologize to my viewers about that. But just the response that I have is just absurd. And I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Lucy Meyer. I just found you because Ken's story. Here's a little thank you. Oh, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. And like I know Ken's video has gained a lot of attention. It's but please, everybody who has just recently found my channel, look at my other videos. I hope to make you proud. It's like I do a lot of giving back to the community, to the local community here. I am, at the end of the day, a guest in this country. I have no ties to the Philippines. When I was first introduced to the Philippines, my family was up in the Subic, I'm sorry, in what is it, Bataan, the refugee camp, when I was only 7, 8 years old, somewhere there. And we stayed there for 8 years. And that was my first introduction to the Philippines. And I was just flabbergasted and very overwhelmed by, how grateful my family is and was to the Philippines government for housing us for the 6 months as refugees to go through the westernization, process before we go to the United States. So that, like had a permanent imprint in my brain. So when I was able, like about 17 years ago or 15 years ago, I came back to the Philippines for the first time as an adult to investigate, and I fell in love all over again with the culture, the nature. It's just very different from the Los Angeles that I grew up in. So when I was able, last July of 2022, I decided to come here and make the Philippines my permanent home and pursue what I always wanted to do in my heart, is to give back to society and humanity. So Ken is just one, just happens to be one of the coincidences, and made my channel more well known. But a lot of my other videos, they'll make you feel good. I promise. There's hope in humanity. Ratel, thank you very much for your support. I really appreciate it. And every little bit help, it's just like uh once again, I just want to make it clear, okay? All the donations via PayPal, buy me a coffee, 100% of it goes towards, giving back to the locals and developing programs and stuff like that. My Quest program is in the very infant stages of starting, but I assure you that it's going to happen. It's just a matter of when. It's not it's not if, but when. But for those who make a contribution and with an attached specific instruction, like for example, to towards Jericho's college funds, then that's what I will execute. And if you say, specifically, this is for Ken's grocery, and that's specifically what I will execute. and I absorb, like whenever you guys make a donation, I am obligated to the U.S. taxes. Okay, so I will go ahead and absorb that, and that's fine. I'm in a position that I'm able to do that. And once again, like all the videos that I do on YouTube, like AdSense does pay me based on the viewership, how long you guys view it, and stuff like that. So I do have a profit or benefit in uploading these videos. But then again, a lot of these, uh, and the pay fluctuates. Sometimes I get a few $100 for the month. Sometimes I get like 1,000 plus. The most that I've ever gotten paid by YouTube was 3,000 within a rolling 30-day period. For that particular month, it was earlier in my YouTube channel, like for that month I was able to do a lot with that money because 3,000 in the Philippines goes a long way. It's just like I don't have a specific like percentage that I give back and stuff like that. But like a lot of it does go back to like giving back to the local community, as well as I'm sorry, again, my brain is a little bit crazy today. Back to my philanthropy work here in the Philippines. What's next, honey?
Oh, this one. This is new.
Oh, okay. Sorry, Robert Harp. Usually I don't, Robert. I just like to address it. It's just like, and don't get me wrong too. I appreciate I try to read every comment, positive or negative, and I never, ever, ever delete any comment. I never remove, like any comment. Um, Although I have like Doug from Brand Solution as a moderator. Doug is very helpful. Doug from Brand Solution, he's on right now. I've seen a few of his messages from a peripheral vision. Doug is solely responsible for building the website, and he donated his time and effort and expertise at no cost to me, which I absolutely appreciate. But personally, I go through all the comments. Just a learning, an opportunity for me to learn, and about my own self and my channel. What is what I'm saying or doing that is getting misinterpreted, or what I'm doing right or wrong. Basically, there's error margins. I'm at the end of the day, a human being just like everybody else, and I'm doing my best, and I'm learning as I go. I'm not um, videographer, so my lighting and stuff like that. If you guys have negative comments, I'm learning from it. I don't hate. Um to err is to human, right? And I'm learning. So it's just like, please leave me comments, positive or negative. I try to go through all of them. I try to read them personally, and as I'm gaining more subscribers and more comments, for the praises and the general comments, like I just do the praying hand, the heart signal, and the angel, just to be grateful of your comments and contributing to the algorithm of YouTube. But for those who like make legitimate criticisms, like I respond. But then again, if you're telling me to like do background checks and vet some of these grades and stuff like that, it's not applicable here in the Philippines, because a lot of these kids, they are super intelligent, and but because they lack the resources and lack access, it's just like they're not like they don't have money to print out like a 50-page report that is due. So they don't get the opportunity to turn in that assignment, which negatively affects their grades. So that's not what I'm looking for. I don't care about grades. Just me personally, I was a juvenile delinquent myself. Like just because I don't have like a high school diploma, and my life circumstances like had me drop out of like the first semester of sophomore year in high school, doesn't mean that I'm stupid. I've learned a lot through experience. It's just like, and these kids who are lacking resources and access, they deserve a chance. And I look at them from I observe them from their like their intellect, and their the way that they interact and everything. It's just, if I see potential, then it's worth my time. Oh wow, Richard, like that is a very good point. Like I issue a challenge, no matter how big or how small, I challenge everybody who is watching this, to do one act of kindness to your neighbor, to like someone, it doesn't matter, like whether you know them, you don't know them, a relative, a family member. At the end of the day, we're all human beings and we all breathe the same air. Nobody's air is sweeter than the other. It's just like if we can do that, it's just the world would just be a better place. Even if it just makes us happy for the next hour, the next day. I think we are deserving of that joy as a human being. Thank you, Bob. It's just again, like Brit, US, Filipino, it doesn't matter. We're all human beings. I would do the same, for anybody who crossed my path that, like um, that I feel, has the dire need of help. Otherwise, like I tend to focus on the younger generation who has a full life ahead of them. But it's just like when you see human suffering, and you can be involved, why not? I try to stay humble, like uh, but Iron Horse, like you're so active, proactive in my channel, like with what you just said, I try to stay humble. But if you ever come to the Philippines and we get a chance to meet, don't um mistake me for a man who is always humble like this. If we meet in person, I am just as capable of throwing f bombs, and it's just like that's how I was, like brought up. It's just like I'm being polite and stuff like that because I am being sensitive to my audience there. But if you come and you visit me and I slip an f bomb here and there and being, I guess, loud and obnoxious, please forgive me. Not just you, but everybody else who comes by and visit me. And I purposely have an open door policy because, again, it's just like uh, a lot of the stuff that are on the media nowadays, on YouTube and stuff like that, raises suspicion of honesty and genuinity. So I purposely have an open door policy, and I don't charge a dime for meeting or consultation or whatever that other vloggers do. But purposely to do that because like I want you guys to come and vet me now that with this Ken situation, a lot of government officials are involved and a lot of NGOs are involved, as well as charitable organizations are involved. I want to be vetted because once again, it's just like I want longevity in what I do over here. So I don't want to ever be accused of anything. And if that ever happens, and I know for sure, not if, but when that happens, at least I have government officials and NGOs and people who are in the environment, I guess my colleagues, like having my back, so it's just a way for me to stay protected, protecting myself. So I want to do this real quick. Hold on. And Timmy, we got to do that lunch. We're just neighbors at the end of the day. So yeah, I promise not to put you on camera. It's just a regular lunch, okay? Okay, go ahead, honey. You take over.
Mhm. There's a comment there that I want to answer.
All right, Rag John Rock. Good, good Florida evening to you. I appreciate you staying on as long as you did. I appreciate the support, and you as well is one of the very active people on my channel, which I'm very grateful for. Of course, that helps the algorithm. It just helps the viewership, and which helps me gain more money on AdSense, which means it will help me do more and give more back to the community and create more of these content. It's a circle, which I appreciate. Thank you, Matthew. And again, I apologize. Being your first live stream, it's just like my brain isn't working all too well today because like we've been investing a lot of time, effort, and it's just a lot of exhaustion in Ken's situation. Because again, everything is brand new to me, and I was getting ready to make a 5-hour motorbike drive with her so we can get on a 40-minute ferry to meet to have a face to face with Paul McGill over there in Dumagetti to pick his brain, so I would be prepared to make that phone call. But fortunately, for Marissa Lake to give me enough information to go on and make that call to Social Security to I guess reinstate his benefits. So like I am a little bit overwhelmed, and again my mind is not right, and I sincerely apologize that you have to go through my stuttering for your first live stream. Larry, I don't know. And for the government, when we spent the 4 hours at the mayor's office here, trying to get the mayor's office involvement in Ken's situation. Like during the wait, I did ask a lot of the employees there, and I seem to not be able to get a straight answer or an answer at all. So, like I even asked straightforward, is it illegal for me to give cash money to locals here and stuff like that? And I wasn't able to get a straight answer. So I have to consult an attorney, a local attorney here. I haven't gone around to that, but I will do that just to protect myself. And I don't have a desire to give cash money anyway, with the exception to a very minuscule few. The kid who did the tire repair, John Nino, uh, I didn't give him cash. I did give him 20 times the labor for work performed. So it wasn't cash for free. And we did buy him shoes. So that wasn't cash. It doesn't justify as cash. So uh, on the very rare occasions, that I do hand over cash, I make it a point to make it very clear that that is towards your say, for example, tuition or school supplies or whatever it is. It's not just randomly giving cash to buy a goat or buy a pig or whatever, so because I don't want to cross ethical lines too, and I still have yet to learn a lot about the Philippines and the legal system and stuff like that. And I do wish for longevity in doing what I do, and I don't want to violate any laws accidentally. But it's very, very humbling to be able to meet all the local officials and stuff like that. And just the day before, was it the day before last night that I met with the fraternity people? The day before, huh?
Yeah, the day
Yeah,
before.
the day before Saturday night, I was able to meet with the fraternity folks that when we were doing the Q Labyrinth video, we came across these local philanthropists themselves. They were carrying buckets of food to pass out to hungry children, as well as passing out flip flops to children. So the fraternity president, along with a few high rank members, came by the house the evening before, and we were able to share a red horse. In a matter of fact, a few red horse, and we were able to share a very productive conversation in ideas and how we can work together in future projects. Because in what I do, I have a desire to expand operation, and with them, they are like 70 head deep. So if they are willing to extend their manpower, in future projects. Say, for example, when Marilyn and her family is appointed like a new piece of land to settle on. It's just like I need manpower to help her build that house from the ground up. So they were very willing, and also within their group, they have politicians to run for like domestic government, and which is a good connection to have. So if everybody, I'm sorry, if somebody in the future want to just throw poo poo on the wall and see what stick, and throw out accusations and stuff like that, at least I know I have the locals getting my back. So that's very valuable to me. Yeah, that's a comment to Dean, honey. I don't know why you put that on.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, Philip. I don't know what part of Ken's video you have watched, but there's a whole series of totaling like 4 or 5 videos. So if you watch it, I appreciate it. Even if you want to leave it on, leave my videos on at night while you fall asleep or something like that, and just let it run. That'll help my channel a lot. I appreciate it. Yeah, guys. I had a few comments, about Bernadetta, and saying that like why I'm ignoring her efforts. I'm not ignoring her. I have ADHD. I can only focus on one thing at a time. So for the time being, due to Ken's health and stuff like that, and the urgency for him to go home and seek medical care, my hyper focus is on Ken, until he leaves. Like I pretty much don't have time for anything else except for my, nightly walks, or our normal walks. And when we come across something, that we just turn on our camera, and share that fascination with you guys. But rest assured, like I assure you that Bernadetta is not forgotten. And yeah, so as soon as Ken arrives home in London safely, I will, bring to light Bernadetta's story, because she is a person of very little means herself. For her to do what she does for Ken, it's just like I just feel like that is something that needs to be recognized as well, and that illustrates, like how beautiful the Filipino culture is, and why that is the draw for me to come here to look for a new home within this country. So Bernadetta, her story will be told as soon as Ken goes home. Okay. Thank you for the support, Liza Jane. I really appreciate it. And make sure you guys watch my other videos as well, okay?
Question again.
I am myself, like met through, we're gonna do a whole different video about that, okay? Because I think
Yeah.
this is a little bit irrelevant to what the topic of conversation here. But like we'll talk about that, okay?
Just wait, guys.
Yeah, we'll do an entire video about like dating, and I don't think our age gap is that absurd. I turned 45 back in March, and she's 27.
Turn 27 January.
Yeah, so yeah, well, we'll discuss in details, about culture and my travel experience through Latin America and stuff like that. I think the age gap thing only, is what you would call it, a taboo thing, a taboo topic back in the United States and other Western countries. But from my travel experience, that's something to be discussed. Yeah, for sure, Dean. Like you're more than welcome. David, who David, well, I don't want to give away his last name, but he's on the board right here. He's one of our motorbike renters. He stopped by a few times, and we had we shared beautiful dinners. Like a few, well, once in the restaurant, and
Dinner and
I think
lunch.
twice. Yeah, twice over here in our personal home. And if you guys have an intelligent conversation and fascinating conversation, or have the ability to make me laugh, and don't mind
Our
uh,
house is open.
yeah, like a regular dinner, not nothing fancy, like a home cooked meal. It's just like we're always here, so you're always welcome. And these two girls in the back over here, they're always cooking. Where are they at?
Rest
There they
eating.
are.
They're eating.
Yeah, sorry, I'm on my laptop here, so that's why my video quality is not great, because I'm still learning how to get that done on my or doing a live stream on my phone. My laptop is an older Dell. Yeah, Wayne, I really appreciate that. And like I tend to get a lot of these comments, similar to yours that that we have on screen right now. But rest assured, one day, something's gonna blow up, and I hope you have my back then as well. Okay. All it takes is this one false, ignorant, false accusation, and things, you know, poo poo will hit the fan. So I hope y'all have my back then as well. It's just human nature. Yeah, yeah, Timmy. It's my I need a lot of coffee. It's like I have very slow mornings because I went to bed late last night. I woke up late today, like about 9 a.m. It's 11 a.m. now, but I woke up at 9 a.m. So I only had 1 hour for my brain to wake up. So I have my tea here, not beer, tea with sesame seed. I'm not sesame. What is it?
Get the name.
Yeah, I forgot the name of it.
It's a seed.
Yeah, but tea doesn't do it for me. Just culturally, I'm Chinese. I drink tea all my life, so all these caffeine doesn't have any effect on me anymore. But I just need my coffee to wake up. I have my morning ritual. Ah, Consolacion. That is just
Then
across the bridge from us.
yeah,
That's where Dr. Christie,
yeah.
our like
Just
our
then
dentist.
the next gate to dock.
Yeah, yeah. We'll be welcoming you to the Philippines in 15 days, I suppose. Oh, by the way, guys, um, we're entertaining the idea of building a boat.
Yeah.
So a lot of fun stuff going on over here. Once again, I'm a 45 child. I'm a kid at heart, so I'm
My
always
baby
looking.
boy.
So I'm always looking for adventures and trouble to get into. So like after visiting Jericho and LJ's community, Jericho's dad is a boat builder, and through conversation with him, I found out how what is the price range to build a boat, and it is dirt cheap. So we're after our travels, in the next month or so, we're gonna start building a boat. So we're gonna have access to a boat. So for y'all who are looking for an adventure and visit these kind of what you call it, like abandoned. I think you should log out, honey.
Okay.
Where
Girls,
is this?
log out your phone.
Yeah, it's just that my
Go ahead.
connection is unstable. But anyway, yeah, I guess I spoke ahead to Um,
Turn off your phone.
yeah. So anyway, I have a few inquiries, and in the process of looking at all the numbers and stuff like that, um, I have decided that like the solid number that I have right now is 3 million pesos, which translates to like 50 some odd thousand U.S. dollars for 10 units. We just bought a brand new unit. We just recently sold one unit to replace it with a brand new unit. So like we often do that. So if you guys are serious about making a serious offer, um, please reach out to me with a personal message. I will stop giving away like marketing strategies and stuff like that, because I don't know who is serious and who is not, and I don't want to give away too many of the my marketing strategy. And just as a precaution, I don't want you guys to like have the same practice the same marketing strategy as me, for those who just wants to like get free information, I guess, and create a competitor for myself. And I'll do an entire video on that, how to do business as a foreigner and what resources you have access to and stuff like that in the Philippines. Okay, so I'll do a separate video of that for those who have a desire to come to the Philippines and start a business. And I think the Philippines has endless potential as far as business is concerned, because you don't have the requirement of paying high rents. You don't have the requirement of getting liability insurance, which is absurdly expensive back in the States. And you have more freedom, and it's just the cost of doing business is very low. So your risk is very low. And and coming with like uh business experience from the West, I think uh it puts you in a very favorable position here in the Philippines. Yeah, I Wayne, I 1,000, 1,000,000% agree with you. It's just like YouTube earnings is it fluctuates, like substantially. And through Ken's video, I have gained a lot of Filipino local subscribers. And a lot of people like to generalize, like, oh, you have 30,000 views, so you must make X amount of dollars, which is untrue, because there is a bias there, from the viewership. Like if I have 10,000 viewers in the Philippines on a video versus 10,000 viewers in the United States on a different video, like the income from those two videos with the same amount of views but different demographics, like the pay is absurdly different. We're talking about $50 compared to like 150 or $200. I've never sat down to, I don't care really. I've never sat down to look at the analytics and stuff like that. It is what it is. If I'm gonna like whatever they pay me, I can't complain about it. um yeah, there's a whole process that like Google, YouTube, like the whole policy, and like a very like entire Bible that they write about how we are compensated, so on and whatnot. And I don't bother going through it. It's just like whatever they pay me for my viewership, that's what they pay me. I invest my time better in walking around the community and trying to contribute to society and humanity. Everything else, the business aspect of it, I'm really not interested.
Jason Tower.
Jason Tower, Jason, he has a small channel, Traveling Machinist, himself. Um, he's coming back. He's stayed with me before in the as a guest to the house, and one of my bike over here being for rent is his personal bike. After he went back to Minnesota, he proposed the idea of like sending me money to buy a bike and let it sit here and rent out. And so when he returns to the Philippines, like he would have access to a bike. But going at this rate, by the time that you return, Jason, I would probably sell your bike by that time and replace it with a new one. Okay. So you're depending on when you come back. I know the process slowed, but there's a bright future with Jason. Like he's a machinist, and he has, like when he visited me, we went to like through different islands, to meet machine shops and stuff like that, to look at possibilities of opening, like training centers for skilled trades. And then I believe Jason is working with his local government there in Minnesota to get sponsorship to create these kind of special skilled jobs to get these Filipinos over to Minnesota and earn, like US dollars for 6 months, and then come back and be able to enjoy their earnings from the US, for 6 months and rotate. We're working out the logistics of that. Again, is a very in our very infant stages, but Jason will have his own YouTube channel to document that. I will so heartedly promote that, as it is a form of philanthropy. He's creating the ability for higher incomes for the local community here, and I'm all for it. He's a kind-hearted man himself for everything that he's done. Yeah, of course. That's what my website is for. Q Gives. The transparency is there. If you guys make contribution to Q Gives, everything is transparent. Like whatever goal that we set up, whatever contribution that anybody contributes, it has a percentage and stuff like that. And my moderator, Doug, is helping me keep tabs of that. I don't have organization. He doesn't have organ. I'm sorry. Let me see here. I was just distracted with another.
I'll answer that.
Yeah, I was just distracted with another comment, but yeah, through my, like the uh, PayPal link that I have on my YouTube channel, like I have done it before. I will do it again to, when Ken is getting closer to the buying his flight. I will go ahead and announce, like everybody who contributed. A lot of people, however, wants to stay anonymous, so I'm not going to intrude into their privacy, but I will, give the amount and stuff like that. If you guys, I do it. If you guys miss it because you didn't, watch that part of the video, it doesn't mean that I'm dishonest. For my long-term subscribers and viewers, like um, they understand how I work. So I appreciate you bringing that out. Come on, Ben.
Hi, Ben. How are you? Thank you for tuning into our live stream. And you're wrong. You said,
No, it's okay. He's,
yeah, good
Ben,
job.
I encourage you to start your own channel so you can be the host and you can talk as much or as little as you want. You can have an entire channel dedicated to complete silence and have two crickets going, "Kik, kik, 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 kik." And that's entirely your choice. But this is my channel. I'm the
Yeah.
host. So thank you, though. I appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you for watching our live stream. You're doing
Thank you, PJ. I appreciate it.
Thanks.
What is it? K Travels. Thank you very much. I appreciate the props and the shout out. Like you guys are, I none of this can be done, and the productiveness of the whole Ken situation, it cannot be accomplished with you guys reaching out. Like just because I don't, I assure you guys, I read all the messages. Especially during my morning rituals. I'm not going to get into the details of what my morning ritual consists of, but but I read everything, and a lot of it, it just gives me ideas. Um, and I couldn't have done it without you guys, your participation and raising awareness. And there's a gentleman that is from he's German. Uh, he's a young guy. I forgot his name. I apologize again. Again, my brain is not working well. He's a German citizen, but currently living in Bali. And a lot of people suggested to me to do a GoFundMe. And I want to verbalize this. GoFundMe is not applicable in the Philippines, although I can mix circles and take loopholes. Since I'm a U.S. citizen and I have a U.S. address, I can technically set up a GoFundMe in the US. But once again, I want longevity in what I do. I don't want to take loopholes. I don't want to do anything that may perhaps violate ethics or breaking laws. I'm not going to do that. So that gentleman, like that is living in Bali right now, I think he just set up something that is similar to GoFundMe, but is applicable in Europe. And he indicated that he's going to do that amongst his friends. So I don't know what progress it is, but for all of you who are considering and donating to Ken, I just want to fully disclose that Ken's Social Security is being reinstated, although he has not received a dime of it yet. It is still a 5-day waiting process for them to update the system, and thereafter we still have to from now to then, I still have to take Ken uh, personally to a bank to open a bank account where the Social Security Administration can deposit, make a direct deposit into his Filipino account. Verbally, when I was speaking to the representative from Social Security Administration over the phone, they confirmed that they are able to do a direct deposit to a Filipino account. So Ken will need to open from now until we have like about a 4-day period to help Ken open a bank account. And once again, it just uh, my spidey senses, I don't want to do that. I don't want to sit with Ken in the bank because I don't want to put myself in the position of accusations. But under the circumstances, since Ken doesn't have any help, doesn't have access to any friends, family, or relatives, I have no choice but to do it. But I will go ahead and sit in the waiting area while he is doing that. So the Social Security, yeah, the Social Security Administration will need access to that, and I will do my best to have Ken give that information personally and directly to them, and without my presence, but we'll figure that out. If he really needs my help in the process, then I will have no choice but to do so. But yeah, he still doesn't have access to a dime. So that's your call. I'm not asking for anything, but that's your call if you want to make contributions and donations to Ken to help him out from now until his benefits kick in for food and stuff like that. Whatever your purpose is, just when you make that donation, just make in the comment section what it's for, so I don't mistake that as to supporting my channel or for Jericho or anything else. But I highly encourage you to if you make a donation, just make it through qgives.com and not through this YouTube channel. It's just a way to help me get organized.
Christmas is coming.
Yeah. Funny enough, Christmas season is already here. Um, Being a foreigner here and
I need to hide. I need to hide.
all the Filipino community here, it's just they know us by name. Every time we walk out there, everybody is just like, "Oh, Derek," and they give me the handshakes and stuff like that. So I cannot possibly afford senseless gifts for everybody just because it's a holiday. So we have every intention to go to duck out and
I told,
travel to Singapore. So
I
I go ahead.
yeah, I told him that we're gonna hide honey since December is coming.
Yeah, all the relatives and like all the relatives, family, strangers,
Friends,
friends, everybody's gonna come
neighbors.
out of the woodwork as I look at this foreigner with a YouTube channel and a motorbike rental business, and I can't possibly um yeah, like Nah,
No.
we can't do that. So so we're gonna hide for the holiday season
Yeah.
abroad. Yeah, and it's I've got a lot of comments like that, and in the very beginning, I thought, it's like y'all were just being negative, and it's just like, oh, the UK government is more concerned about the war refugees than their own citizen and stuff like that. And I thought, like y'all were just being like negative and like I guess anti-government and stuff like that. But as I am getting deeper in helping Ken, and the I'm starting to believe that more. It's just like, how can a government let their own people suffer the way Ken is suffering, and why is it my responsibility to help Ken? I'm only doing it because it's just like, just from one human being to another. Like, I don't want to see suffering. I do what I can, but it shouldn't be my job. It should be the government uh, that is helping the own citizens. I don't collect taxes. Dennis is a common name, so I apologize if I don't remember immediately. But yeah, yeah. So yeah, I get a lot of these praises, and I really appreciate it. But I'm seeing a lot of the redundancy in the rest of the message, and uh, which thinks that this is my cue to pull out and end this live stream. So I really appreciate you all in joining in today. I tried a humor today, but I think I failed miserably and epically. And because again, my brain is not is still asleep, so my eyes are open. It's just my eyes are looking more Chinese than usual today. So, but I appreciate you all in tuning in today, and I really appreciate the support and the participation in getting Ken home. And I'm gonna get emotional, like the can of worm, the positive can of worms that I've opened with my little channel on YouTube right here, and for the locals and for the expats and travelers alike, if y'all want to come and knock on my door, we from watching our video, there's no secret where we live. Y'all ring the doorbell and I'll open the door if I'm home. You're more than welcome to come and say hi and share a conversation. It's just I'm a talker, obviously, especially according to Bin Win there. I talk too much. So just we'll share a meal, a conversation, whatever it is. We'll enjoy our time. Jason, looking forward for you to come back. Jason Tower, traveling machinist, looking forward for you to come back. And Chris Fouts, who was he's not on the live stream here, but um, he has some great ideas of like doing a prank video, not prank, but just like fun videos to interact with the locals, and like little dinosaur outfits running around, like two foreigners and stuff like that. And I 100% subscribe to that. If you can put a smile on somebody's face for the day, why not? And Chris will be returning to the Philippines in January. To I'm gonna have Chris on my live stream as a guest for the upcoming live stream, so y'all know, like, and recognize his face, and we're gonna discuss a little bit about like what we will be doing together as a team, and like to further like just to create and be the cause of laughter and positive spirits here in the Philippines and just down our block, and we're gonna on his channel, we're gonna together partner up and like kind of just ride around, because Chris is a motorcyclist himself, and we're gonna ride around and just if people break down on their we're gonna identify good deeds to be done, and we'll go ahead and uh, do it on camera, just to share some positivity on the internet, YouTube here. And Bullard Oki, thank you very much for your contribution here. And Uh, I feel very fortunate that I caught you there before I tune out. So, with that said, thank you very much, everybody. I feel very bad that I seem like I'm very low in energy this morning, but I thought it was important for me to do this live stream and not cancel it. With that said, thank you very much for tuning in, guys. And I'm going to go take a nap now. Until next time, y'all have a good one.
Mimi time.
Mimi time.